Boom shakalaka, Bitcoin price moves sideways after a dire warning from the TD sequential and SOPR. Don't miss out on the next huge move. Stay tuned. What's up everyone, Randall here from Crypto Love. Today's video, a lot of very interesting charts for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, including a warning from a couple Bitcoin indicators. And you definitely don't want to miss out on the next move. It could shock the market. Before we get into it, guys, like the video, helps out so much. Come join us on Twitter at @TheCryptoLove, and of course, subscribe if you have not. Now, today, Fear and Greed at 81, same as yesterday's 81, going sideways. You know what else went sideways? Yeah, the entire market. Bitcoin at 71,993, Ethereum at 40.19, BNB at 543, Solana 150, XRP 69 cents. Way to go, XRP. Cardano 75 cents, Dogecoin 17 cents, and Avalanche $54. And Bitcoin, you can see here, after finding resistance at roughly 72.5, well, prices come down and sideways just a little bit. Still sitting above previous all-time highs, finding support above there. May just be a little consolidation on top of previous resistance before taking off into uncharted territory. Now, is this price drop over the past day a surprise? No. We were talking about it yesterday when the TD sequential flashes a sell signal. Historically, since February, this has been right every time for a dip between 1.6 to 3.5%. Flashed a sell signal once again, and the market goes sideways to down. Also, if we take a look on the SOPR, which is a measure of profit taking in the market, we did reach near peak levels recently, historically only seen at market tops or seen many times on the ride up in 2017. So this could have been one of those times where a lot of frenzy, market needs to cool down just a little bit before it ramps up once again. Now that being said, we do see across the board accumulation from every cohort, from the large whales holding greater than 10,000 Bitcoin all the way down to those holding less than 1 Bitcoin. Everybody has been accumulating Bitcoin and the spot Bitcoin ETF, which means the supply of Bitcoin is dwindling and demand is growing, two things which would fundamentally cause the price to increase. As a matter of fact, if we take a look at Bitcoin inventory on exchanges, we can see not only the spot Bitcoin, but also the paper Bitcoin have both been decreasing recently, which again, this causes a decrease in supply, eventually will cause increase in price. Now, Bitcoin has just recently entered phase 2 of the bull run. Phase 1 is fun, but it just kind of goes up. Phase 2 is incredible because it does more than just kind of go up. It goes up incredibly. This is when Bitcoin crosses the previous all-time high of the Tenkan line from the Ichimoku cloud. When we see that happen, that is all up territory for Bitcoin in every single bull run. It has never been wrong. We just recently crossed the Tenkan line previous all-time high, which means that we are in all up territory for Bitcoin. Every dip or sideways movement is a great opportunity to accumulate at probably the lowest prices you're going to see for probably a couple years. Now, we could have on our hands the most explosive bull run in history. You can see here, the weekly MA 200 and 100 have never crossed before until this cycle. Now, if we take a look historically, they did narrow, and the more narrow they got, the bigger the bull run afterwards. Well, this time they got so narrow, they darn near crossed each other. And it looks like they're going to uncross, but this could be an indicator we have one of the most explosive bull runs coming. And the best news is that you ain't seen nothing yet. This has just been the warm-up. Like we saw with this chart right here, we're just entering phase 2, which is the beginning of the real bull run. Once we cross this blue line here on the Bitcoin macro index, that's when we get into a real bull market. When that happens, stuff is gonna go bananas. So you best wanna fortify your positions now while you still can at decent prices, not only for Bitcoin, but also for altcoins. The altcoin season index down here at levels that we saw back in 2019 and 2020 before alt season, times when it was the best time to get into altcoins. So that being said, we could see one of the biggest alt seasons ever happening soon. And now is the time to fortify your positions because altcoins likely are going to go up if Bitcoin goes up. And there is evidence we could see a Bitcoin move unlike anything we have seen since 2010. If we take a look at this chart right here, in July 2010, Bitcoin was 0.7 cents. It popped 10x in 5 days and another 1000x in the 2 years following. Why? Because Bitcoin was introduced to global liquidity with the advent of Mt. Gox. Well, Bitcoin just got introduced to global liquidity once again of the world's stock markets, which hold $100 trillion of capital. And as we've seen over the past few weeks with BlackRock and Fidelity and all the other spot Bitcoin ETFs, they are piling in. There could be maybe a gigantic, huge upward Bitcoin move, which would send the markets up dramatically. As a matter of fact, evidence based on crossing the previous all-time high that the next peak may be between November and February of this year and next year. So within the next year, we could see the next peak incoming, which would be absolutely extraordinary for this year. How high? Well, talking minimum targets right here, we have things like this inverse head and shoulders right here, which predicts a $150,000 Bitcoin. And this was back when Bitcoin was $45,000. But not only that, that's kind of a low ballpark, because each time Bitcoin has broken previous all-time highs, it goes up parabolically through every fib extension and beyond in short order. Well, right now, the 4.236 extension is at $240,000. And if that doesn't seem good enough for you, based on Willy Woo's price model, the top band right now is at $337,000. And that's considering we don't have some type of massive supply shock blow off top. So that's all for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, push the like button, join us on Twitter at @TheCryptoLove, and of course, subscribe. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. Love you. Peace.
If you don't think Bitcoin's going to $1 million a coin and then $10 million a coin, you're already a loser.
From now on, if you don't own Bitcoin, you're a moron.